I must set this in ink before the noise in me grows louder than Catherine, for I don't know if the tremble was in my hand or in the surf itself. Having earned my sea legs long ago, one learns to read the signs. Any sailor does, but a captain stays in rhythm with them. A red sky in the morning means the waters will be choppy and the storm is pushing in. To avoid peril during a stormy existence, you batten down before it gets bad and stay ready, like men at war. If the sky is green, pray to the good Lord for a swift death, 'cause it is certain. However, at the other end, there are suspicions too. This morning, Percival, the newest deckhand, spotted a school of dolphins sporting around the ship, passing under the bows, leaping here and there. Considering the dolphins with the seabirds perched on our masts, and our sighting of an albatross, we felt the gods smiling upon us as the sun descended into a crimson sky. These were all blessed signs. There is one more way to tap into your fortune. If you put your cheek and palms to the ship, you could feel the tide or the unseen force between the salt and the sea. Thus, every night before I sleep, I press a cheek and an ear to the USS Catherine, listening. On this night, her cracks were calm, her groans a gentle well song. After such a joyous day, I entered my quarters with a smile upon my face, while my first mate Shadrick played the accordion for the crew. I slipped in my pajamas with comfort in my heart. And then nature became a lunatic. The throw from my bed awoke me. My mind wrestled with shapes and angles until I realized I was on the wall, staring at my falling quarters until my quarters were barreling back towards me, or perhaps rather me through it. It was a fight for balance, grabbing at my desk and walls, for anything stable, really. My legs wobbled like a newborn calf, but I found my footing and moved onto the stud wall. Thunder, rain, and wind roared together beneath the furious green sky, and white-crested waves beat madly over Catherine. Their force nearly tore me from my feet, but I held firm to my door and railing, peering over the main deck. Despite the hour and the storm, that horrible sky made me witness every detail. The sea seemed possessed with purpose, each wave not striking at random and pulling my crew into its depths, but herding them. The foamy fingers pushed their backs and chopped at their legs, sweeping them off their feet, washing them to the middle of the deck, over and over. Their ragged bodies stood bent and tired, spitting the salt out of their lungs. Out of the 30 men huddled, about 10 worked together, pulling themselves towards ourselves, making progress to steady Catherine. Those crazy bastards nearly did it too. That's when the fog came, blue and thick. The smoky tendrils, unbothered by the torrential downpour, gripped us starboard and dangled us port, sending the men back to the middle. That deadly fog circled them slowly like sharks. From my vantage, I had not the vision they did, but whatever was in that fog kept the crew in an unsteady cluster, trying to stay away. I saw her then. She rose from the bow with a wave and floated there in place, I swear it. Thin, inky hair floated all around her as if she was swimming underwater. Her hair's roots connected to something more like a skull than a face, but there was skin, translucent and slimy, glossy in the moonlight. She lifted a raw-boned finger and pointed. A new mist blacker than the seafloor rose around her and moved towards my men and me. Her finger directed, and it bent to her will. She cackled as it infested their mouths, eyes, and noses. It crept towards me, but I covered my mouth with the cradle of my arm just as it touched my lips. As suddenly as she appeared, the witch in her blue-black fog dissipated. The rain stopped, the waters calmed, and so did Catherine. But my men stood looking aghast at one another. We couldn't believe ourselves. What just happened? Percival laughed, perhaps from fear, confusion, or excitement. He wiped the rain from his face and happily waved and shouted in my direction. Shadrach turned and embraced Percival. I thought it was a merry kiss at first, and then Percy's face peeled away. When the deckhand turned towards me, I realized that Shadrach had ripped away half the man's cheek with his teeth. Percy's flesh hung limp, and his teeth were bare through the side of his face as Shadrach swallowed what he stole. A mad dash began then. Half the men scrambled while the other half took their time, leisurely following the crewmates' moves before capturing and feeding on them. The grotesquerie was too much. I slammed my captain's quarters and jammed the door. The crew hides, but the hunger keeps finding them. Their horrible screams punch through the night. The candle I write by has drowned in its own wax, and now the silence is the loudest, only broken by Catherine's creaks and moans and those who wander beneath. They're so hungry. They keep eating. I'm getting hungry. But hungry now is not right. I feel unwell. My nails are breaking with every stroke of the quill. Daylight cannot come soon enough. I'm freezing. Need the sunlight. My scratch tears my flesh now, burning up. Hungry. She sings. Door open. Beautiful song.